Natasha,
Debbie,
show.
the show.
Welcome to it. Just two patriotic girls.
Learning about the world.
So please, don't take us the wrong way.
Hi.
G'day, Australia.
She went up to me again. Can't say
Welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show.
it, where I can't say that thing she just said.
G'day.
I've tried and I failed.
She
It's
has.
been a while, Australia, but we've taken our virtual plane. Apparently, you use a steering wheel with the plane,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in Deutschland on Wednesdays, Worldwide Wednesdays, and now we're moving back down under for a little while, back to Australia. That down under doesn't. I'm going to stop moving my hands and
So
things
we're going back down under to Australia.
for a little while. And Deutschland will be back.
That's right. Because Australia, we told you we'd be back, and here we are. We are back.
It's been a while though.
Going to look at some new things in Australia. We've missed you.
Hopefully you've missed us. Let us know by hitting the like button. Good segue. And
Also consider subscribing.
that was a good segue.
It was.
Yeah, we want to learn some more stuff about Australia. We were never done, guys. We were never done. So
No.
Worldwide Wednesdays for a little bit. It's going to be back to Aussie content. We hope you're excited about that. Let us know in the comments. And so, yeah, today this is from our friend Jen. What are we going to check out?
We're going to check out how expensive is Australia in 2025, the cost of living guide in moving to Australia.
I know it's expensive. I don't know how expensive it is. So
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I just know it's a lot.
It does seem to be much more expensive than here anyway, comparative. But we're going to take a much better look.
Yeah, this is one thing we've never looked at with Australia yet. So I'm hoping, I can't talk today, that we get an idea, a grasp of everyday costs of things. I don't know if this is more than just grocery shopping. Oh, it is more than grocery shopping. Just looking at the chapters. Ooh. Okay, let us know the differences in different places because I know it's a country. It's probably just
Different
one area.
areas. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what's the most expensive place in Australia
Mm.
and what's like the most affordable? That'd be good to know.
That would be.
As you may be aware, the general cost of living in Australia has risen over the past few years. And while inflation is currently at its lowest level since 2021, access to affordable housing, food, and essential services continues to be a significant concern for many Australians. So in this video, we're going to talk about the cost of living in Australia and key things you need to know if you're planning to move here. Disclaimer though, as we always say, your overall cost of living will vary according to different factors. For example, where you live in, your state, city, or even suburb, your overall lifestyle, and even your household size, whether you are a family, single, or a couple. And in line with all our other cost of living videos, we'll start off with the average salary in Australia to put all these costs into
Okay.
context.
That's
According
helpful.
to the latest ABS reports, the average weekly ordinary time earnings for full-time workers in Australia are around 1,900 Australian dollars per week. I know that this may sound very high, but remember that this is average weekly earnings, and median weekly earnings are
I wish I knew what that was in US dollars
Mm-hmm.
because then otherwise it means really nothing to me.
True. And
You know?
it is good to know that it's just like the average. It's not, you can't expect to go in there and get that.
Right.
almost 1,400 Australian dollars per week. Now, knowing all this, let's get started. When it comes to grocery shopping and buying food and your essential items, according to the latest reports, the average Australian household, which is comprised of 2 to 3 people, spends between 800 and 1,200 Australian dollars on grocery bills
That's a
per
lot.
month. And an interesting fact is that those living in New South Wales have the highest spending on groceries at
Really?
212 Australian dollars per week, whereas people
A
in
week.
South Australia spend the least, with an average weekly grocery bill of 186 Australian dollars. In my case,
That's a
I live with my
difference.
partner. We're
Yeah.
a 2-person household, and we spend around 700 to 800 per month on grocery bills. Now, if you're moving to Australia, something that I always recommend doing in order to estimate your grocery bill per month, especially if you're outside Australia, is to jump on the Coles or Woolworths websites. These are the major Australian supermarket chains, and you can create your own cart by selecting the items you usually buy. This way, you can have a
Hey, these are in US dollars. Or no, they're not. Dollar
I was
symbol
gonna
is still
say, are they?
Australian. Dang it. Do you have her phone?
I do not.
I'm gonna go grab her phone. What's the difference between the Australian dollar to the US dollar? One US dollar to the Australian dollar equals 152. Okay, so one Australian dollar is worth 67 United States, 67 cents.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. We couldn't do this video without knowing that information. That would have been pointless. Okay. Sorry about that.
That would have.
Yeah.
But this is a great
me.
tip to go on to one of the local grocery stores, add it up, and then you can see what your average cost would be.
We should do that ourselves before we go buying stuff. That's just smart in general for anybody.
That would be.
Better understanding of how much you will be spending. Now, if the case is that you're already here in Australia and you want to save on grocery bills, something that you can do, and again, this is obvious advice, you can cook at home, you can buy discounted products, go to farmers markets and buy in bulk, or go to discount supermarket chains like Aldi. And if you want more tips on how to live cheap in Australia, I have a full video about that. I'll leave you the link down below. Now, in terms of housing costs, and probably this is what most of you are interested in, according to the latest data, the median weekly rent for a house across Australian capital cities is around 650 Australian dollars. And the median rent for a unit in capital cities is
That's so different.
I already knew that from Jen and Pauline.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Because they pay weekly. I'm like...
Weekly rent. That's...
Yeah, I was like, what?
Is it the same with like a mortgage?
I thought so. Is it the mortgage
Weekly
the same?
mortgage? And maybe she'll tell us still here.
Let's find out.
But,
good question.
630. Now, when it comes to regional and more remote areas, the median rent for a house is around 550 per week. And for
weekly is crazy to us.
480 per week. As we always say, though, rental costs will vary according to
we pay
where
monthly.
you live, including your state, suburb, and type of property. Remember that the closer you live to the city or the beach, the more expensive rent will be. And something else that you may want to know is that when you're looking for rental properties here in Australia, rent prices are given per week, but you may pay rent per fortnight or monthly. This will depend on your landlord or real estate agency. And another interesting fact is that Sydney today is the most expensive Australian city when it comes to rental costs, with the median rent being 750 Australian dollars per week, whereas Hobart in Tasmania is the least expensive capital city with
Hang on, she's about to tell us how much it is.
It's the cheapest. Y'all didn't see, if you haven't already, our Tasmania video. I fell in love.
Yes,
you did too.
Definitely loved it.
Tasmania.
How could you
not? You have my heart.
Beautiful.
And it's affordable. Well, more so than Sydney.
Apparently.
All right, let's find out.
The median rent for a house sitting at $540 per week. Now, a low-cost housing option, if you're looking to save money on rent, is to live in shared accommodation. This means sharing a house with other people. And an amazing website to find shared accommodation is flatmates.com.au. You can also check Facebook groups for this. And another low-cost option is to move to areas that are further from the city, perhaps in outer suburbs. Usually rent in these areas tends to be a bit cheaper. Or if you're someone like me who doesn't mind living in apartments, renting a unit to apartment will always be generally cheaper than renting a house. So it's up to you, but remember that the larger the house, the more money potentially you'll be spending on rent, but also maintenance, maintaining the house. So you have to consider these costs according to your...
I just wonder too, I'm sorry for stopping again so soon, is it more popular to rent houses than to buy them? Please let us know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Circumstances. Now let's talk about the cost of utilities. Something that you should know is that here in Australia we usually pay bills on a quarterly basis. But for simplicity purposes, here I'll give you the costs per month. Now, according to the latest reports, the average monthly water bill in Australia can go from 69 Australian dollars to 107 Australian dollars per month. And again, these numbers will vary according to your household size and habits in usage. In my case, we're a two-person household, and our monthly water bill is around 75 Australian dollars per month. But again, we live in an apartment in an outer suburb, so our rent and overall maintenance costs are way lower. So try to be strategic about that, and again, consider your circumstances and your own needs. Now, in terms of electricity costs, according to the latest data, the average Australian household spends around 125 Australian dollars on power bills per month. However, other reports found that for families with children, this number can actually go up to $190 or even more.
I feel like that's closer to us.
Now, in my case, again, we're a two-person household living in an apartment, and we spend between 124 and 271.
That's more accurate to us, right there, that number,
which is around 41 to 90.
Depends on the season too.
Now, in terms of gas bills, the latest reports found that the average monthly cost for gas in Australia are between 66 and 150 Australian dollars. But of course, these costs will vary according to household size and even the state you live in. For example, colder states like Tasmania, Victoria, or South Australia may have a larger gas bill than northern states.
We
now, in terms of internet costs, like
Now here, we pay our gas and our electric together.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, do you guys do that there also?
I don't know.
Or is that still separate?
Isn't that weird seeing snow in Australia?
It is, because you just don't think of snow in Australia.
I know. Tasmania.
We know from the last time we were taking a look at Australia, there's definitely snow.
Mm-hmm. More than in some places. I can't remember that.
May have a larger gas bill than northern states. Now, in terms of internet costs,
This I was curious about.
Wi-Fi, the average Australian household spends around 75 Australian dollars per month, which is consistent with what I currently pay, which is around 79 Australian dollars per month.
Oh,
and
what
this
it is
is a
here.
fixed rate, meaning that it's not impacted by your usage or by the amount of people
Right,
living in your
same.
household.
True.
Now, something that I recommend doing if you want to save on your internet bills is to use
Still
your
your
mobile
friends, your
data
neighbors.
and hotspot it. This way you don't have to pay for Wi-Fi. Hindsight that if you work from home and you want a reliable internet connection, paying for Wi-Fi, of course, is necessary. But otherwise, if you're out of home all the time, you work in an office or somewhere else, sometimes the most affordable option is to just use internet from your phone. This way you don't have to pay for Wi-Fi bills. Now, in terms of mobile phone costs, according to the latest reports by Cancer Blue, the average monthly phone bill in Australia is 78 Australian dollars. But this
That's
is
cheap.
generally for mobile phone plans when you're paying for both the phone and the service. However, if you're on a SIM-only
Wait, what?
plan, you're already on the phone and you just need the service. And reports show that the average phone bill for this is around 42 Australian dollars. But these costs may
Interesting.
vary according to your telco provider and the amount of data
That's
you
cheap
use.
compared to
In
us.
my case, I pay around 30 Australian dollars per month.
What?
And as I always say, I highly recommend doing your research in terms of mobile phone provider.
Oh, good God. No, here it's like buying a car.
It seems like it.
It is. It's worse. It's so stressful and I hate it. Like we are on the same plan, but we have two different lines, right? And then you pay for your insurance, which I'm sure you guys do too. And then you pay for the plan. And there's like 5,000 plans. But if you don't have the right plan for the phone you want, then you can't upgrade to that phone. And then you have to pay this amount a month. And then if you don't, you could get off this much. It's just insanely complicated.
It is.
I hate it.
So you're able to find competitive prices. Now let's talk about transportation. According
Ooh,
to
I
the
do wanna
latest
talk about this.
reports, the average weekly cost of using public transport in Australia can go from 39 to 46 Australian dollars per week, which is around
How do people use that, though?
169 and 200 Australian dollars monthly. But public transport fares will vary from state to state. So again, that's something that you need to consider. Now, in terms of car costs, you can expect to pay between $1.60 and $2 per litre. And Australians spend on average around 286 Australian dollars per month on fuel, which is around 60 to 66 Australian dollars per week. But these costs do not include toll roads, registration, parking, and car insurance, only fuel. And again, these prices will vary
good to know this.
significantly depending on the car that you have and even the city or region you're in. And let's talk about healthcare. The cost of GP consultations in Australia varies according to how long your consultation is and whether your GP offers bulk billing or Medicare rebates. So for example, in my case, a standard 20-minute consultation with my GP costs between 109 and 130 Australian dollars. And I get a Medicare rebate of around 43 Australian dollars. For shorter consultations, you may pay less, and for longer ones, you'll pay more. But
Okay, that does not happen here like that. We're not charged based off
doesn't.
time. It's just off the visit. You go see your visit, and then that's off your copay for your insurance. So it's like $25 for your copay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. And you can be in there for an hour. And we have the same doctor, and trust me, we're in there for like an hour or longer.
Then I wonder if you're paying for a 20-minute consultation, do you actually get the whole 20 minutes?
Yeah, because it's always, they always say that, right?
A lot of times they come in, what's going on? Okay.
Because I'd be sitting there going this.
Bye.
Nah, you're not leaving yet. It's 19 minutes in. You got another minute.
I'm like, you only been in here 10 minutes. Come
Exactly.
Australian dollars. For shorter consultations, you may pay less, and for longer ones, you
No,
pay
there you
more.
go.
But according to the most recent reports, most
Maybe.
GP consultations in Australia start at 80 Australian dollars, but you get the Medicare
bad.
rebate. Or if you don't have Medicare, you
get
may be
some back.
covered by private health insurance, which is usually a condition to get an Australian visa. Now, if you want to get a private health insurance, you can
What's that?
expect to pay on average around 160 Australian dollars per month. And
That's
if you're a
pretty
couple
expensive,
or
actually. actually.
family, you'll naturally pay a bit more. But make sure you do your own research when it comes to health insurance providers, because sometimes they do have some deals, or perhaps they offer different premiums according to your
Just
own
like ours.
needs and circumstances. Also, if you have private health insurance, you may pay a bit more for extras. Extras sometimes are worth it because, for example, you may have a 100% cover for dental consultations, which can be pretty hefty. Now we're going to talk about that. Or for specific needs that you may have, for example, going to the physio or wearing prescription glasses, etc. So again, do your research. Now, speaking of the dentist, I currently pay around 300 Australian dollars and sometimes even more for a basic checkup and a clean. Yeah, it's super expensive.
Wow.
And if you need specific dental
I don't pay that
procedures
much.
like a root canal or fillings, you can expect to pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for that. Again, dentist
What?
costs in Australia are very,
Thousands.
very hefty.
Right
And this
now.
is confirmed by the latest
That's not
data,
that
which
expensive here.
estimates that the average cost for its standard dental consultation in Australia is around 230 Australian dollars.
Holy crap, guys. We don't even have dental insurance. It's not a very common thing to get here. I mean, it is and it isn't, but it's less likely. I think most people don't. But I just had a cleaning and I can't remember what it cost. I think $130.
Yeah, I think it's about 130, and it also depends on if you get X-rays.
X-rays can cost a couple $100.
Yeah.
But even then, yeah, this is a lot. This is actually fascinating.
It's a
There's
big
some
difference.
things that are way more expensive and some things that are exactly the same.
Yep.
And other things that are cheaper. And it's like weird, you know?
It is.
Definitely the housing's more expensive.
For sure.
That bothers me. There goes my dream, Tasmania. It's still too expensive. This whole weekly thing, which I know she said doesn't always have to be, but I don't like that.
We go to that flatmate.com and
Yeah, I know. Hi, patrons. Hi.
But again, dental costs will vary from dentist to dentist. Now, let's talk about education. Your education costs will vary according to your location, your education provider, and your level of study. Something that you may want to know is that education inflation has become one of the major contributors to the rising cost of living across Australia, with an average national increase of 5.85%.
That's a lot.
wow.
Now, if you have children and you want to send them to school, something that you should know
thankfully.
is that primary and secondary school fees in Australia are influenced not only by the state you live in, but also by factors such as whether the school is located in a metropolitan or regional area.
You know how you save money on
Interesting.
schooling? Don't have kids.
That is a good plan.
Follow me for more tips on life.
Or whether the school is a state government, Catholic, or independent private school. Now, according to the latest reports, sending your child to a government primary school, for example, in the state of South Australia, will cost you around 440 Australian dollars in school fees per year, and between 20k and 40k per year if you send them to an independent private school. To this, you also need to consider extra costs, such as uniforms,
Sports
electronic
and things, yeah.
devices, for example, an iPad or a computer, transport, and general school activities, which can amount to over 7k per year. Now, if you want the bigger picture, a report by Future Investment Group notes that over the period of 13 years of schooling, the average cost of education in Australia, including tuition fees and ancillary costs, can go from 80k to 300k.
Wow.
Hold the heck up.
Over 13 years. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
I think we had the good plan there. No kidding.
No kids.
Look how much money we saved already.
What's the average cost of K through 12 school in America? $12,350.
Mm-hmm.
We have 22,440 private K through 12 schools in the United States.
Depending on the type of school and area, with government public schools or those located in regional areas being generally more affordable than Catholic or independent schools, or those located in major cities. Now, if you want to know more about the school system in Australia, I have a full video about that, leaving the link down below. Now, let's talk about childcare fees. According to the latest reports, average childcare fees in Australia go between 70 and 300 Australian dollars per day. But again, this will depend on the state or
Don't
area
have kids.
Regardless of this, it's
I'm
insane
just
how
joking.
expensive it is. And this is one of the reasons as well why the Australian government is looking to implement subsidies and policies that make childcare more affordable for Australian families. Now, for those of you who are interested in taking a TAFE or VET course, for example, a Certificate 4 or a diploma, tuition fees generally start at 7k per semester, and they can go up to 40k per year or more, depending on the discipline. But again, these costs will vary and will be different according
I like that she's saying that about
the
everything.
state you live in,
That's very
according to the
important.
institution that you're enrolling in, but also also whether you're an international
So is that-
student or a local student. International students
student.
tend to pay significantly more. Now, when
Then
it
I'm
comes to
not coming over there.
university degrees, tuition fees here in
That's
Australia
really pretty.
start at $20K per year as a bare minimum, but generally they tend to be a bit higher than this, especially again for international students. And if you're
That's
an
cool,
international
though.
student and you need financial assistance to support your studies, I have a full video on how to get a scholarship here in Australia, so I'll leave you the link down below. Now, an amazing
Smart.
resource that you can use to calculate your tuition fees and also to explore different study options, institutes, and courses is this Australian government website called
She's got it covered,
Study
guys.
Australia. I'll leave you the link down below for you to
She
check out.
does.
Now, let's talk about entertainment and recreation costs.
Yes.
When it comes to going to the gym or having a hobby, according to the latest reports, Australians are spending on
You live in Australia. Don't go to the gym. Go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Go for a walk. Go for a run.
I'm not
go
going to a
beach.
gym. I'm in Australia. Where are you at in Australia? I'm in a gym. I'm sorry. It's this way now. Where are you in a gym if you're in Australia? I have no idea. Good point. I should go outside where the beautiful scenery is.
Some
Sorry.
might say it's too hot.
Yeah.
Or it's too
average
cold.
between 63 and 70 Australian dollars per month on gym memberships, which personally speaking, these numbers seem a bit low, but these are the averages according to the latest data. In my case, I go to a rock climbing gym and I pay around 127 Australian
Jeez.
dollars per month for my membership. Now, if
No,
you want
I'm
to
just
look
gonna
after
go climb
your
a
physical
Blue
health and
Mountains.
do exercise,
Go
but
climb
you
an
can't
actual
afford a gym membership, some low-cost options and alternatives that you have may include going for a run, hiking, cycling. Australia has amazing parks and lots of nature
It's
around.
Australia.
Running or cycling are amazing activities to do. You can also go swimming for a very low fee. For example, most local
That was a
councils.
cool pool.
No, that was stupid.
You can
I'm
also
sorry.
go swim.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
I mean, there's the tide is really hardcore, right? But I'm like, I'm going to walk down the beach to where the tide isn't doing that and get in the ocean and then get eaten by a shark. But I won't because I've learned to punch the shark. And I'm going to pretend I'm an Aussie. I'll just punch it in the nose
Punch it in the nose.
and then be like, yeah, we're good here.
Okay. I'll swim in this pool because I don't have to worry about any of the sharks.
I'm like, I don't want a pool next to the ocean.
Swimming
I'll go
for
somewhere
a
else
very
and
low
walk on the
fee.
beach.
For example, most local councils have their public swimming pools, and you can expect to pay around 10 Australian dollars for
that's not
a
bad.
day pass,
Oh, for a
which
day.
is pretty good.
Still
And
not
if
bad
you want
for
to
a
take
day.
your
Monthly
kid,
rate.
for example, to swimming lessons, which is one of the most common extracurricular activities for children here, you can expect to pay around 40 to 50 Australian
See how much money you'll save if you don't have kids?
I know we've saved thousands already.
And again, we are just joking, guys. If you have kids, we love children, just not
We do.
ours. Because we don't have any.
dollars per fortnight. So again, it all depends on the kind of activity you're interested in doing, and there are always
skate park.
low-cost options for you to explore. Now, in
ever
terms
done
of entertainment, if you want to go to the movies, for example,
I
movie
do.
tickets are currently at around $23.
Yowzers, that's
And
expensive.
if you become a member of that cinema, which is what I usually
said
do, you may get
yowzers.
some perks and discounts. So make use of that. Now, when it comes to eating out, a cheap meal, for example, for lunch at a food
Not cheap.
court, may cost you between 12 and 25 Australian dollars, and
That's-
dinner at a
yeah.
nice restaurant
Out here.
around 50 Australian dollars per
That's-
person. And for high-end
per
restaurants,
person.
meals typically cost about 100 Australian
it's about the same.
Now, other extra costs that you may want to consider include, for example, going to the hairdresser. If you go to a fancy hair
I have my
salon, haircuts usually start at 100 Australian dollars, and the more experienced your stylist is, or the longer the hair, the
She's
more
more expensive
expensive
than
the
that.
service will be. So I usually pay around 150 Australian
For a
dollars,
haircut
As you
alone?
should.
which in my opinion is a lot, but it's the way it is. And if you
I
have
pay
short hair or you go to the barber shop, prices
Oh, you
currently
pay.
start
I know I
at
do.
50 Australian dollars.
know.
But again, this will depend
50 for a
on the
barber shop.
hairdresser and
That's
the
a lot for a
location.
barber.
Now, in terms of buying
Here.
clothing and homeware, prices
Ooh.
will vary again according to where you shop. You may pay 100 Australian dollars for a pair of jeans from a well-known brand, but if you go to Kmart or an op shop, which is a second-hand store, you may pay 20 or 30 Australian
Well,
dollars.
it's the same way
And the
anywhere.
same goes for furniture and appliances. Popular stores for this kind of items include Harvey Norman, IKEA, Big W, Kmart, JB Hi-Fi, etc. And for everything that's home maintenance or construction, Bunnings is one of the most popular stores as well.
That was not what I expected.
No, but I really enjoyed it. She went pretty much covered everything about
She's
living there.
Very informative.
And if you wanted to move there, I mean, you would have an idea of what
Well, even visiting.
pretty
you know,
much
that,
everything costs.
that works even for visiting too,
Yes.
so you know.
Mhm.
I thought everything was going to be a heck of a lot more expensive on all things, right? I thought every single category was going to be
Right.
just insanely more expensive than here,
Mhm.
but it wasn't. A lot of things were, I would say most of that, tell me if I'm wrong, was about the same as what we pay here. Most of it.
It was pretty comparable, yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
But other things were like stupid more expensive. Like, first of all, they get paid probably more than we do, especially based off a weekly salary.
Yes.
Yeah, not fair. Come do YouTube do YouTube in Australia.
But definitely the housing.
More expensive.
More expensive.
Definitely. But yeah, there's a few things. I can't remember now all of them, but yeah, you're right. That was very informative, very in-depth. I mean, I don't know what she didn't cover. I don't think there was anything she didn't.
Going to the movie was.
That was a lot.
But then, price,
was that per person? I think it was.
Per person. Well, I mean,
yeah,
here,
it's still higher.
I think it's like 18.
God.
Now, I mean,
Yeah,
we
I
haven't gone to the movies in a long
theater
time.
in a while. I thought that was really interesting and very informative, and she really knows her stuff. If you guys like add something to this, let us know more. Some things maybe she left out that didn't think to put in that we should know because we want to know. But I thought it was really great, and yeah, I learned a lot. That was a very, very, very informative video. Really, really enjoyed that one. It really was. And I hope you guys are excited about us coming back to World by Wednesday, Aussie style. Say the word again, I can't say.
G'day.
Could someone please come help me to say that right? Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Natasha and Debbie Show. Yeah, I just did that for no reason. Please hit the like button if you did and consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, please love like Jazz.
And be as strong as Tyson.
Good day.
G'day.
Bye.